What is up, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time Early Edition, sponsored by Fanduel. Joined as always by two of the sharpest minds in the biz. Taylor in the house. Taylor, it's a two-gamer, kind of a fun one, I think. At least an interesting one.
Yeah, not bad for a two-gamer. There's a lot of kind of decent value, unlike the Tuesday two-gamer. So a lot of ways to go, I think.
Very good. Devin pointing out how much I get into that music. Man, that music generally leads into Grinders Live, and then I don't get to hear it for Crunch Time. But when that music hits, when I get to start off a show with the music, that just gets me hyped, gets me ready. I'm pumped. I didn't even have any entries, and now, just because of the music, we're getting them in, making it happen. We got Chief in the house as well. What up, Chief? Long time no see, man.
Yeah, man, what's going on, brother? We're going to call you Eric Sermon. That's throwback hip-hop. I've got the music. I'm not sure if you know that song. If not, just check it out.
Just like music.
There you go. A little sample of Marvin Gaye, actually, for those of you that didn't go all the way back. So there it is. Looks like you, yeah, for sure. So glad to be on. I think this is my first show with Taylor. In fact, I know it's my first show with Taylor. So hopefully we can bring the heat and help some people take down some GPP money tonight and cash games, of course.
Of course, the all-important cash games on a two-game slate. Truth is, whether or not you're playing cash, I do think it's helpful to go through a cash build because it gives GPP players an idea of what is the chalk, what is the play that most people are doing, and then you can kind of figure out those pivots. So whether or not you're playing cash, I find the cash portion of this show to be very helpful, even for my GPP builds. So I think we should dive on into it here. We mentioned it's an early show. I don't know how many folks we got, but we're going to run through the content, and then we're going to get through to your questions as well. I assume it won't take too long to get through the content because there is only two games. Taylor, is this kind of straightforward?
Yeah, we only have one questionable guy, and it's LeBron, who's not really questionable at all.
Right.
He's been questionable for like a month straight and played every game. So
it's just that he's old. He's old Q tag, but he's still balling through it. Exactly. Also, I think I saw that this Indiana Milwaukee game is this the highest total ever? Is that correct?
It's definitely the highest we've had this year and probably ever, because I don't remember any 250 total till this year, and I think it's the third. And I think all three have involved Indiana. So
nice.
250. And if not, it would have been Atlanta. If not, it would have been Atlanta. Those two teams right now, Jesus.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, I'm pretty excited about just playing all the dudes from that game, and then you win all the money. Taylor, is it that easy?
That's kind of how it looks, especially because all the value is in that game, and there's some okay value in the later game, but it's a little shakier, probably more tournament-y. But for cash, you're definitely loading up on the first game.
Okay, well, let's dive right into it. FanDuel, we will start with. They sponsor the show, so let's start with the FanDuel cash build, and then Chief will get your thoughts on GPPs.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so point guard on FanDuel, it's pretty thin. I think you're paying up for both spots there. Tyrese Halliburton, obviously, great play, like 1.6 fantasy points per minute on the season. This is the game we want to target. He's probably the top play on the slate with Giannis, so easy cash play on FanDuel at 11.6. The other one's Dame Lillard. Noto has him as a core play. He's going to be like 70% owned in FanDuel tournaments probably, but he's too cheap. Great game environment. There's really no value at point guard, so I think you just pay up for both on FanDuel. If you do pay down, I guess D'Angelo Russell's fine for 67, but minutes are kind of suspect. That game is not as appealing overall, but decent salary on him. But otherwise, you're just paying up. A lot of the value is at shooting guard and small forward. Ben Mathurin is one that pops on both sites for 48 on FanDuel. Decent usage off the bench. Let's see. Another one is Malik Beasley in the same game. He's played 33 or more minutes in 5 straight for Milwaukee. Kind of scoring reliant, but decent price there. Easy way to save money. Let's see. Herb Jones is another one in the later game. Good minutes for him usage, but enough while he's out there. Minutes should be secure with LeBron on the other side. I think he'll probably guard him for most of the game. So Herb Jones is a decent cash play as well. Another one, Noto Core plays Chris Middleton, 6,200. His minutes are pretty capped between like 25 and 27, but productive while he's out there, and I think you just play him in cash. No question about it. Let's see, small forward, pretty much the same guys. Power forward, Aaron Nesmith is okay, super cheap off the bench for Indiana. Rui Hachimura is fine if you want to go a little bit deeper. Saves there. Any better play on, excuse me, better play on DK than on Fanduel. Much cheaper over there. And then center, I think you're shopping down in the Miles Turner, Brooke Lopez range. Valanciunas is okay, but I think Turner for 74 is kind of the guy.
Okay. Very nice. Chief, I will kick it to you for your thoughts in how you're building here with the GPP. I already got some QQs coming in, but let's just start with, how you're building, what your thoughts are. Maybe you're being crazy. Maybe you're fading the first game. You're not.
Well, I don't want to say I'm being crazy, but I do think in tournaments on this 2-game slates I do think that's the strategy. Like everybody thinks this game, and look, thinks is such a strong word in DFS, but we've got a track record of a season or up through the season now where Indiana games are just going berserk. Mm-hmm. However, there is a world where Milwaukee just runs away with this thing, and then nobody gets there. And then because realistically in my mind, when I look at this slate, I feel like the most competition should be in the New Orleans Lakers game. I'm just saying from pure talent. You got LeBron, you got AD, you've got Zion, you've got Ingram, you've got McCollum. In the first game where there's Dame, there's Giannis, there's I don't want to say an aging Chris Middleton. Let's call him an older Chris Middleton with limited minutes. If Milwaukee could somehow just take control of this game, I don't know if anybody gets there. Now, raw points matter here. And so, Giannis could get to 58 fantasy points and everything could still be fine. And Dame could get to 43. And as long as LeBron or AD don't go off, you've got this interesting combination. And I hate to hog the mic so much on a 2-game slate, but I do think it's advantageous to look at LeBron, look at AD and say, okay, well, maybe I just don't play the big guns in this first game. Maybe I fade Halliburton and his 11.5, 11.6 salary. Maybe I fade Giannis and his big salary at 12.1, and I play LeBron and AD and go that route because it looks like the Lakers want to win this thing. I don't know how close they're going to get to a championship, but I feel like the Lakers want to win. We got LeBron with the big 70 fantasy point performance kind of out of nowhere. I like this last game to be a lot tighter down the stretch. Now, once again, this total in Indiana is scary. I'm not saying you have to fade it. I'm saying I think from a game stack perspective and trying to put some unique pieces together, I don't think anybody's playing LeBron and AD tonight and then throwing in like D'Angelo Russell. Like I just don't think you're going to see that. And so for me, if anything wrong happens in this Indiana game, you're probably going to hammer about, I'm going to be conservative here, Taylor. I'm going to say 40% of the field is dead. If anything goes wrong in this game, in the Indiana game. And so that's where I think, getting a few pieces from the Lakers, New Orleans game, some of the higher spins feels really advantageous to me today.
I love it.
It's also worth noting. Sorry,
go for it.
It's a 2 p.m. local start in Vegas, and they may have been out in Vegas last night. Like, it's Vegas, you never know what's going on with them. There could be a hangover factor in this early game.
Well, James Harden isn't playing. Lou Williams isn't playing.
Like the Clippers play those 12:30 games on weekends, and oftentimes those games are just brutal. Like they're not up for the races, and the early start time, they're not used to that. They don't play day games very often. So
that's fair. That's fair. Chief, do you want to walk us through a build on FanDuel and go position by position or not really? We can hold that for DK.
No, I'm good. I mean, listen, I'm in. So give me AD at center, which good. Give me LeBron at power forward. Give me Austin Reeves at shooting guard. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of leveraging that game, and then give me Buddy Hield at the other shooting guard position. And then at point guard is where it gets interesting, because remember, I kind of want to attack this other game. I don't mind CJ here at 8,200, and then I'll figure out the rest. Like I can make it work somehow. But that's kind of my thoughts on how I'm going to be building for this thing. Like, maybe I take a shot with Aaron Neesmith or something like that. Like I said, some of the cheaper guys I don't mind. Like I'll probably play Neesmith, not high usage, not high fantasy points, but I don't need him to get all the way there. If he gets me 23, like on this slate, I'm probably okay. The other small forward position, I could play, Benedict McThierry. I don't have a problem maybe throwing in, Prince, and then that gives me 4 Lakers and CJ, but that's kind of what I want to do. I want to load up on this other game because I just feel like for my tournament mind, and I'm very comfortable getting uncomfortable. Once again, if anything goes slightly wrong in Indiana, Milwaukee, I'm gonna lap the field as soon as this game starts. If Giannis ends with 50 and Dame ends with 40, and what's his face? Tyrese Halliburton, if he ends with like 42, like think about that. If that happens, I'm about to crush the field as long as everybody does what they're supposed to do. And that's kind of my philosophy with this slate. I just think the field is too committed to Indiana, Milwaukee. Not that the total doesn't say we should be. So I don't want anybody to think I think this is a bad game. I don't. I'm saying I'm going the opposite side to say, hey, if anything goes wrong, I'm going to get you today. And that's my philosophy with this slate.
Okay, I love it. Of course, I mentioned this show is sponsored by FanDuel. Make sure you're signing up for the FanDuel Sportsbook. If you haven't done so, bet $5 on any money line. Get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. For new users in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and up. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Shout out to our sponsor, FanDuel. They are keeping this show free for you. And all that we ask is that you hit us with a little thumbs up here. Make sure we get some eyeballs. Smash that like, smash that subscribe button as well. Chief, we did get a question about your favorite center on FanDuel. Do you have a favorite center pick there as you're looking at FanDuel GPPs?
It's legit AD. But that's sure. That's legit my favorite center play, because I get to avoid Turner, I get to avoid Lopez, I get to avoid Valanciunas. Like I just end up with such a different lineup construction that I get to do something not in line with the field. Most people, if they play AD today, they're playing him at power forward.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Okay, very good. Let's kick it over to DK. Taylor, I'm building here, and I want Giannis and I want Halliburton, and then I'm quickly realizing I'm running out of money real fast. Like that leaves me with 4 or 5-ish or so. There's not a whole lot of things I love in that range.
Yeah, and most of it is going to be in the first game, but there is decent value in the second game. Like I said, I think Trey Murphy is the guy that stands out really to me in all formats. You can play him at guard or forward on DK. He played 30 minutes the other night in his second game back, which is a good sign. Obviously, they're willing to extend him a little bit. So I like him quite a bit in all formats as a cheapie. Herb Jones is another one over here that looks good. Both of them are going to be popular, but it's hard to not just play popular guys on a 2-game slate. So
right.
I think you can do the Halliburton Giannis thing in a tournament. I think in cash, it's a little unnecessary. As scary as it is to fade one of them, I think I'm more inclined to play Halliburton, a little bit cheaper. Position is a little weaker, I think, at point guard on this slate. If you're paying down, Bruce Brown is a guy that looks good, point guard or small forward on DK. Dame Lillard over here again. Not as necessary as he is on FanDuel, but still looks decent. I think he's 9K flat, which is pretty light for him, playing about 40 minutes a game or so lately. Shooting guard, small forward again. Mathurin we have here. Murphy you can play here. Middleton, core play. Again, more of a cash guy, I think, but still viable in tournaments. Just the nature of the slate and a great game environment. I do like Brandon Ingram a lot. I think he's 8K flat on DK. Playing well in tournaments so far. Again, if people are smashing the early game, then a guy like Ingram, a guy like Zion, for example, a great tournament in particular on DK. The Lakers stars are more capable. They're both under 10K on DK, LeBron and AD. They're going to be more owned over here as a result, but they both look really good. I think I prefer AD overall. Noto actually now has same tag as the core play too. So 96 is just way too cheap for him. And I think you can get away in a cash build if he's your most expensive guy. I think that's fine. Just because there is decent stuff in the mid-range. Double center with Lopez and Turner is totally fine too for cash. If you're not playing AD at center. Valanciunas is kind of a leftover for me, but totally fine in that range too. I would just prefer the first game centers in cash.
Okay. Real quick, I'm looking at Nemhard and looking at his game log here, and he was at 20, 22, 23 minutes, and then 5 last game, 5 minutes. Was there an injury there? Is that a concern? Is he playable?
I'm not sure he's playable. I don't think he was hurt. He's not on the injury report. Right. Neesmith just played over him. Mathurin played over him. Obi Toppin's getting minutes for them now. I just think he's kind of getting squeezed with Halliburton playing 40-ish minutes.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Any other thoughts that you want to run through there on DK Cash? If not, we can kick it to Chief.
No, I think that pretty much sums it up.
Very good. All right, Chief, we know your overall philosophy here. I assume it's the same on DK, where you're focusing a little more on that Lakers game?
Well, yes and no. So the ironic part about DK is I feel like the Indiana value is more of a necessity. Like you might have to play Benedict, you might have to play Neesmith. You may need to consider a Toppin, even though his minutes aren't as strong as some of the other guys. I'm not as into Buddy Hield on DraftKings, even though the 3-pointer's worth a little bit more. But I think the Indiana value, in my opinion, is really good. I still want AD. I still want LeBron. I think the savings you get on both of them, if AD ends up, and AD's been a guy really this season that's been mostly over 50 and 60 fantasy points most games, mostly. If AD cracks 62-ish, LeBron cracks 53-ish, so to speak, I'm going to be perfectly fine with that from a raw points perspective. I do think, looking at CJ again, which I'm kind of overspending for him on FanDuel, but on DraftKings where he's 77, I don't hate that. I mean, I think that's perfectly fine. I saw somebody say something about TJ McConnell. I don't think I'm going to be getting any McConnell. That's really yucky. Like, unless somebody gets hurt, I don't think McConnell's going to be bring any type of excitement to our lineup. So I'll just say it like that.
If you do that double spend up build, like if you try to go with Giannis and on the other side with Halliburton, like that's where you end up. You end up needing something terrible like that. So I just clicked him, and now I guess I gotta
maybe try to get to Alvarado, try to get Benedict, try to get Neesmith.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'd even consider I'd even consider Cam Reddish, but I'm not playing TJ McConnell today. Like, find some way to see if you can get those guys. But once again, and I think Taylor agrees here. This is where on DraftKings, LeBron and AD have a lot more value, I think, in terms of playing both as pillars of your lineups. I think you can build a little bit more balance all the way through.
Yeah. Okay. Anything that you want to highlight here before we kind of dive into some QQs? We've got 8-9 minutes here until.
Oh, I do like Bobby Portis for what it's worth. Sorry about that. I meant to mention him. Bobby Portis is a piece, I think, off the bench in an up-tempo matchup on both sides. 5,400 on DraftKings. I think this is a spot he could pop if things broke his way off the bench.
Okay, very nice. Trying to get this jabroni out of my lineup here, and yuck. All right, I'm ending up with Cam Reddish, and I don't think I want that, but that's where we are.
I get
Is
it.
that a terrible? No, got to do what you got to do. Let's see. We got 8 minutes here until lock. We're going to take some QQs. Going to start, as always, in the Roto-Grinders Discord. That's where the cool kids hang out. That is where I also start with questions. And we will start with swag with Chris. It is a FanDuel cash question. Taylor, this is for you. Portis Naismith or Healed and Prince?
Portis Naismith. I think I'd go that way. I don't trust Prince at all.
Okay. Very nice. Scrolling up a little bit in the YouTube chat. If you're hanging out in the YouTube, do me a favor, hit a thumbs up and ask a question, or the show's going to get weird in like 2 minutes when we're out of questions. FanDuel, this is from Darren. He says, FanDuel, you want Buddy and Toppin, Chief, or Neesmith and Brown?
God, that's give me Neesmith Brown. I think that's give me Neesmith Brown.
Okay. OS is your favorite center on FanDuel. We got this question earlier. Chief, you said it's straight up just plugging in the big man AD at center.
Yeah, that's my personal one. I don't think Taylor's going to agree with that, but
sure.
So you can definitely get some perspective from Taylor, but I'm in on AD because I want to get different.
I would like to. And Taylor, I think you had some value there. I'm trying to think of who it was off the top of my head. What was your FanDuel play?
It's probably Miles Turner for cash, but I do love the AD call. The FanDuel scoring suits him well with 3 points for blocks and steals, and he's 11-2, so he's just going to be way less popular than he is on DK, and I love that for tournaments for sure.
Okay, great. OS says, Taylor, Zeller or Isaiah Jackson?
My God, I think I'd go Isaiah Jackson. That's got to be a tournament question, but
yeah. Chief, you got a different lean?
Rebuild your lineup. But,
all right.
I mean, and I don't mean that insensitively. Those guys, jeez, that's bottom of the barrel.
I'm telling you, this build, if you want to get 2 stars, is it ain't fun, man.
If the game blows out, Isaiah Jackson theoretically gets good run. I'm not sure Cody Zeller would because he's 40 years old, but sure, maybe Isaiah Jackson will.
Okay.
Just for that, Isaiah Jackson's going to go drop 30 tonight, and I'm going to feel like an idiot.
Right. Let's see. Chris says, anybody taking the Pacers today? I think he just means in a sports betting phrase. Have you guys looked at any of that? You have a lean either way?
I mean, getting them at plus money when they've been playing well, I don't think it's bad. Like playing in Vegas, definitely, suits being able to get in at plus money. I don't hate that call. I do think Milwaukee wins this for what it's worth because I think they're the better team overall. Mm-hmm. But I don't hate it. Indiana's been playing out of their minds.
Okay. Brian says DKGPP. So Chief, I'm coming right back to you here. Oof. And again, some names that we don't love here. Alvarado and Zeller, or Campaign and Isaiah Jackson.
That's going to be another neither for me. You guys, I'm not going to lie to you, but I don't hate Alvarado. I do have Alvarado in my FanDuel lineup for what it's worth. If you can find a way to keep Alvarado and rework that, I think you're good.
Okay. OS says, hey, why no love for Lopez? We got love for Lopez, right?
Yeah, Lopez looks good. Just cheap on both sides, and center's pretty thin, so totally fine with that.
Okay. Gamble says, any Alvarado, Najee Marshall, or Hachimura on FanDuel? Alvarado, Najee Marshall, or Hachimura on FanDuel?
Was that for me or was that for Taylor?
We'll call it a tournament question.
Okay. I do have Alvarado for what it's worth. Hachimura, I'm not really into Hachimura like that. And And who was young? Was it
Najee Marshall.
Najee Marshall?
Yeah.
That's another one it's just okay. Like if I knew he was going to get 20 minutes, I think he'd be more in consideration. I'm just not sure. He could end at 12 minutes, and then that's going to screw you. I feel confident Alvarado gets 17 to 20 minutes here.
Yeah. All right. Another question from Swaggin' with Chris. We got about 3 minutes until lock here. Is it okay to play Toppin and Neesmith together in FanDuel Cash, Taylor?
Yeah, in cash, you don't really care too much about negative correlation, so I'm fine with that.
Very good. Bill says, would Bruce Brown, Mathurin, and Beauchamp score enough to be on the winning team? Those three gentlemen, Chief. Bruce Brown, Mathurin, and Beauchamp.
I don't mind Brown, Mathurin. I think Beauchamp is your odd man out.
Okay. That works for me. We got less than 3 minutes until lock, and a reminder that if I don't get QQs, things get a little weird around here. I should note, we've got football content coming up later today, and this is your very last chance this late tonight, Thursday Night Football, to use Sims Lab while it's still in beta. It's using the power of the Sims. I've done this read a million times. What you need to know is that it has been wildly successful in beta, so it's moving behind the paywall, and there's a reason for it. People are going to pay because it's awesome. It's your last chance to use it. I highly recommend you use it while it is still free today, making that Thursday Night Football lineup. It's awesome. I'm a huge fan of The Sims. We got 2 minutes until lock. What are we pulling up over there? What was that? Devin's pulling up. Oh, it's the NFL Sims. That's what it. Look how easy that is. Look how easy it is. You just click a little button. You want large field, small field, single entry, your results range, and then you say get lineups. It's literally that easy.
It is.
Thinking it's like let me pull your winners. Let me pull you some winners. That's all it's doing.
It is. But listen, then you can go in the exposures field like I do and just start getting rid of people. I love just getting rid of people, especially at the captain. Like just start Xing a bunch of guys out. Then it gets real creative. You start cutting that pool down. That's my great treasure of DFS. The small player field.
Nice.
Like I don't ever try to play everybody. Just get the X button.
Yeah. This tool is as complex or as simple as you want it. Like I just click make me some good lineups and it does, but there's also advanced settings and all player exposure and all kinds of things you can do. Look at this. Look how cool this is. I've never even messed with these tabs. I need to keep using it. We got a couple more questions in here. OS says, Taylor, you want Isaiah Jackson, Lopez, and Halliburton, or Giannis, Zeller, Hield?
Man, a lot of Zeller and Isaiah Jackson in this discussion today. I guess I'd go with the one that has him just because I planted my flag there a few minutes ago.
Okay. Dean in the chat pointing out you are allowed to play. A reminder, you can play Showdown without actually watching Showdown. You don't have to watch Zappy and Trubisky. You can just play it, try to win money, and not actually watch it. Literally watch anything else. Go to a movie. I've heard the new Godzilla movie. Fantastic. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the sweat. You just go ahead, play it, don't watch it. Jake says AD and Bruce Brown, Chief, or Halliburton and Rui?
AD Bruce Brown. No question.
Okay. That was a confident answer there. And with that, we have hit the lock. Good job, guys. Excellent stuff here. Hey, did you know that we also have a props and pick'em package? Chief, you're into the props and pick'em scene, aren't you?
Absolutely, big time.
It's where some of the best lines are found. We've got a package for it. The experts at RotoGrinders taking our premium stats, combing through the market, looking for inefficiencies, which there are a decent amount of. Through mid-November, we're up 38 units in our expert picks. I feel like that's got to be updated. We're still killing it through our expert picks. Using our model, you can easily see which lines are off, where to find them, and how likely your prop will be to hit based on our tool. So check out the link in our description for that.
Well, and can I say something too about that real quick before we close it out? So,
yeah,
and I'm not saying this to like bash anyone, so I don't want anyone to like feel that way. I just want to explain how it works. So if we're up 38 units and all I'm doing is playing what we have on the site in terms of what the experts are suggesting, My unit size is $100. That means I literally sat at home, looked at everything they said to play. I played it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the month, I profited $3,800. I just want people to like conceptually know like that's what that means. Right. I literally sat at home, followed, and did that. Now I've got a little bit more volume going all across the board, but that's the impact or the power of the props and pick'em package. You have people that are going to think for you if you don't have time, and if you just kind of play whatever we say, we're good enough to get you profitable at the end of the month, whatever your range is in. Right, mine just happens to be that, and so I wanted to just kind of add on to that route so they know like that's the real life money based on unit size. Secondly, I think I got another show with Taylor later, so I'm glad Taylor will have a real show to come on and talk about like a 7 or 8 game slate. We can get some better analysis between the both of us going outside of Isaiah Jackson and Cody Zeller.
Right. Looking forward to
it. Let's see. I think this might be a season-long question. We'll take it because why the hell not? Arm says, should I add Amen Thompson? He's available and seems to be coming back soon.
Absolutely.
Yes, there you go. Taylor.
Monster triple-double in the G League yesterday. He's going to be a star, so
very good.
Get in while you can.
He is not the Rockets one, right?
He is the Rockets one.
He is. Oh, he's the Rockets one.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. He looks good too, because I thought that the other dude was the baller, and we drafted the wrong one. But the
Amen's been hurt like all season, but he's coming back now. He should be good.
All right, good. That makes me happy to hear. Jay Frey says, real quick, can you tell me the best settings? Okay, the best settings on Sims Lab for a cash lineup. That's kind of an interesting question. Do we do such a thing? Is it for cash lineups?
It's not really for cash lineups, but you can just definitely don't select the large field setting if you're trying to build for don't select that. So click, like you see Devin's got it, click single entry, and then keep your results range low, like don't get too aggressive. And then just click the button, and then you'll get, like right now, this Ezekiel Elliott's probably going to pop up again, like as option 1, most likely, because I think Zeke's one of the highest. Oh, they give you Devontae Parker. But either way, like Zeke's going to be in there, and that should be, close enough to get you across the finish line. Zeke's one of the highest projected guys tonight.
Yeah. Well, it's got him the ownership at 80% in those 10 lineups, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there you go. That is a way that if you wanted to play something safer or cash-ish, keeping in mind that this is an NFL showdown. So I don't know if cash is really, the thing that most
it exists. Believe it or not,
it does exist. All right. Hey, with that, I had a good time hanging out with you guys on a random afternoon. That was lovely. We're going to bounce, but there is more NFL content later tonight for that Thursday night slate. So make sure you're checking that out as well. For Chief, for Taylor, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we love you. We appreciate you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crushed.